You're listening to The Blush Truth. Unscripted, uncensored, unwoke, and ready to challenge everything.
Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah, Happy Kwanzaa, Happy Holidays, Happy Winter Solstice. Most importantly, you'll notice, if you haven't already, that this is a solo episode. Dougie is very busy. He's very popular. He's got a bunch of people over. He's doing family stuff back to back to back. I know new episodes drop every Wednesday morning, and that will continue happening, except for it's Christmas evening right now, which is great because, quite frankly, I was getting a little bit frustrated. I was getting frustrated by not getting to talk as much as I wanted to talk, which is quite egoic and also quite human. So in light of that, because this is going to be a solo episode, I will share something that I could talk about for hours. And in fact, before I do that, let me tell you why human trafficking is so near and dear to my heart. I want to share a story with you. But before I do that, let me just give you some context on why I believe human trafficking should be important for every single person who is having kids in public education, who's paying their electric bill, who's getting food from grocery stores, who's voting. You are supporting a system that is backed by more than any other currency, human trafficking. And it is so systematized and so omnipresent in society. It is embedded into formalized social institutions like public education, like the post office, like anyone in positions of power, as far as media and Hollywood and social media influencers, as far as courts and judges and even jurors can be corrupted, as far as the police departments, as far as the military and the intelligence agencies, as far as the local community watch and the neighborhood watch and the community policing, as far as the politicians, as far as the school boards. All of these social institutions, which you could call the four branches, are backed by human trafficking as the major leverage point. It's extortion, it's blackmail, it's bribery, it's loyalty, it's secrecy, it's everything you really need to maintain power in this day and age. I don't actually call it power, they call it power. I call it force because it's an unsustainable house of cards that is built upon sin and was engineered from the get-go. Government was engineered from the get-go to control your mind. If you're listening to this podcast, you probably already know the meaning of the word government is mind control. From Latin, govern, control, ment, mentis, mental, etc. Suffix means mind, of the mind. With that said, the story that I'd like to share with you, and I promise you, if I share too many details, I will get this podcast taken down. You might not believe me, but you'll see why I'm saying that in the story. So I'm scrolling Instagram, okay? And I come upon this account. Now look, I like women's feet. I'm just going to say that and put that out there because you're going to be wondering, why are you getting content of women's feet? Now, on my Instagram, something popped up. But now, typically I would scroll past that stuff. I don't like follow or subscribe to it. It just sometimes pops up. In this case, I noticed it seemed to be in a school, like a real school. And I'm not going to share the name of the account because the person's last name is in it. But I did some investigating. I went through this account and I noticed all of the pictures were in a school, a real school, and that this person, as per their captions, this woman was a real teacher with real students, middle school students, in a jurisdiction in Michigan, about 8 hours away from where I live and work. So I did some AI. Oh, and also in the comments, she was doing a lot of sexting and cyber sexting with people either pretending to be her actual students or her actual students. I could not tell because these accounts were anonymous that were commenting. It was frequent and consistent, okay? So I did some... Now, if you know me, you know I'm a truth seeker. From a young age, I was one of the first ones supporting Edward Snowden. I was supporting Julian Assange when I was 13 years old. I was making music about WikiLeaks. Okay, so I am no stranger to truth seeking. Therefore, of course, I realized child trafficking and pedophilia and rituals involving these things were a major, major cornerstone of what we call society or the matrix from a young age. So with that being said, I did an AI reverse image lookup, meaning I screenshotted some of these Instagram posts and I searched using AI and it came up with the city in Michigan. That's how I knew this. There was nothing in the posts that was letting me see where this could be. It was always cropped so to where any posters or any signage in the school would not be visible intentionally. Okay, there was a lot of thought towards this. So I then looked up the school, found the Facebook page. I used some email scraping tools to pull emails of the staff, the faculty, hopefully some parents, the students. And I simply sent out a mass email and I did some posting on the Facebook page saying, oh, wait. No. I got to back this up. Sorry. We'll get there in a second. Don't worry. So I realized that this was happening with one particular teacher and that she had won Teacher of the Year award given by, I believe, the Chamber of Commerce. I want to say the Chamber of Commerce of the jurisdiction, the same jurisdiction as the middle school. All right. Not only that, but her Teacher of the Year award, the reasoning behind it was that she was placed into a special curriculum for students that had trouble with the normal curriculum, and that the purpose of this was that there was no structure. There was essentially no fucking accountability. So they took all the underprivileged children of this city in Michigan, 7th graders, and put them in the care of a teacher that starts grooming and sexting 12-year-olds and 13-year-olds publicly, a middle-aged woman who I know the name of, I know where she lives, I know her family members, and I guarantee you this podcast gets pulled if I even go there. You understand what I'm saying? At that point, I simply sent a mass email out and made about 3 or 4 posts on the Facebook page saying, listen up, parents, this is going on. There's a program. Here's the teacher's name. Here are some screenshots. I made one post on my personal Facebook account and I dropped the issue. Several days go by. I receive a phone call. I notice the caller ID is showing the same city that this middle school is in Michigan. I answer it. Long story short, by the way, this pretty gay guy is the one who called me. And he's like, you're totally wrong. You have it wrong. You've pinned an innocent woman and it's not okay. And what's interesting is the entire crux of his argument. I have a hearing loss. I didn't catch every word. The whole crux of his argument that I could glean from hearing about 80% of the words was that apparently something on TikTok proved me wrong, which is interesting because I never once used TikTok or referenced TikTok in my research, in my logic, and I would be very happy to explain to a judge the logic that I used. The reason I say that is because this person went on to threaten me, not only with implied violence by saying, we know where you live, we have all your information. They also said, we will file a defamation lawsuit against you for defaming this allegedly sick pedophile of a woman. All right? At that point, I had to back down. The reason this episode is about what I'm about to explain to you and break down is because I must, in my heart of hearts, continue to wage war against this ideology of systematically grooming and molesting children to wield centralized power and authority. It has got to stop. I don't care how it stops. It has got to stop. You see, we live in a world that is controlled by arrested development. What that means is that it's easier to control people that are immature, okay? Especially emotionally immature, because you can trigger emotions, you can suppress emotions, you can read emotions, and these are useful to make people controllable and predictable. Now, the challenge is how do we keep people emotionally immature so that they don't get their willpower and their sovereignty and their mastery of their emotions and not become little mind slaves that we can parade around all day through society's institutions, which are backed by pedophilia and child trafficking. Well, here's how. What pedophilia comes from is essentially severe emotional fitness. I don't want to use the R word here because they're going to flag that. It comes from severe emotional immaturity, which most commonly is caused by being traumatized sexually, via molestation, via grooming, via ritual abuse and torture, potentially. The younger you are, the younger you might get stuck. And then, of course, there's chronic trauma from life. And every day being judged and not seen and not valued hurts all of us. Micro trauma, frozen emotional energy stuck in our bodies. All of us have this. But when you compound it with that level of severity that is practiced by these people in power and authority all across the United States and beyond, what happens is that you get really controllable people. And then on top of that, you secretly film them doing these things. And now you have total control. But what happens is the councils that are used to rule the centralized matrix, so to speak, practice a very severe form of ritualized incest and pedophilia. That, in and of itself, is being normalized throughout society within various cults, often backed by U.S. government intelligence agencies like the CIA, FBI, even the DoD and beyond, the Air Force, Navy. There's cults all over the place. And that is where you get a lot of the politicians and business people, sheriffs and, judges and just actually you've also got trash people and teachers and everywhere, school boards. You need a little bit of people from everywhere. Now, these people are in on these secret rings doing this stuff, and they agree to control legislation. They agree to control law enforcement. They agree to control legal proceedings. They agree to control what you see on Facebook and Instagram and LinkedIn to promote pedophilia and actually normalize it amongst the masses. Because the more that we understand what's going on and we don't speak out against it and we don't audit our own backyards and we don't inspire and encourage victims to speak out and blow the whistle on where this was going on. Where are these, which houses, which rooms in the schools, which, hidden passageways, which back alleys, which back entrances to businesses is this trafficking happening? Name the names, name the locations. We need to inspire this. It's the only way. We must be willing to forgive, as much as I hate to say that. Now, here's the last thing I'll leave you with. This is also sad, and my brain and body at this point are starting to not want to talk about it because it's just so horrific and it just makes me so mad. I don't want to start screaming and ranting here. I want to keep this valuable to you as a listener. But the last thing I'll say is that what we resist persists, meaning do not incite violence and do not, strong arm somebody into naming names. Okay? Do not try and shake anybody awake, as sad and unproductive as it sounds. What we resist persists. They will put you on watch lists. They will target you. They will harass you. They'll try to put you in jail. They can do so many things. What I prefer is that you, number one, stop voting, okay? Because now that you understand that the whole point of the left-right political joke is to just get people to vote, because voting karmically authorizes other people to make decisions for your life. And now that you understand those people are, if not pedophiles, if not aware, at best useful idiots, unaware, supporting the system. Because I want to make it very clear. The vast majority of people in these systems are good people. 80% of judges, 80% of cops, 80% of military men and women, 80% of intelligence people are really fucking good people with good hearts and good souls. And that's by design, because it only takes 20% of sick, psychopathic fucks with a centralized ring to control everything. Okay? Let's be clear with that. Let's not automatically assume things about people. Now, what's the solution then, if what we resist persists? I would suggest the solution is, like I said, stop voting, because that absolves them of karma. As in, the moment we all stop voting is the moment karma increases for the perpetrators of these abuses against the most innocent that they are entrusted to protect. Not only entrusted by society, but entrusted by Heavenly Father and entrusted by Mother Nature And anyone who hurts a child is betraying that and invoking profound karma, if not this lifetime, beyond. But you must not vote. In addition to voting, you must pull your children out of public education. There are Montessori schools, there are co-op schooling programs, there are homeschooling programs, so you can homeschool quite readily. It's not that hard. The federal curriculum is infused with so much grooming by the time you're listening to this that you really must pull your children out of public education. You must also produce your own food and energy. Stop paying the electric companies, okay, because they are hiding so much technology that would just dissolve the centralized power structure. That's their job. Stop doing the grocery stores because the food supply is used to control you. They put chemicals and nanotechnology in the food. They can cut it off. So produce your own food, all right? And now that you understand this whole authority systems that we call the four branches are actually not valid authorities whatsoever, you must not engage in any agreements. Don't sign things. Don't make verbal agreements. Don't have conversations with these institutions of the legislators, of the courts, of the cops, of the media. They are at best puppets controlled by very sick tyrants. Thank you for listening. Have a blessed Christmas. Have a blessed holiday season. In this precious, sacred winter solstice time, I'm wishing you and yours the best. I'm going to go light some candles. Have a great evening.
Thanks for tuning in to The Blunt Truth, Stephen and Dougie. And enjoy the conversation. Join us every Wednesday for more unfiltered discussions. Don't forget to subscribe and leave a review. Your support keeps the truth coming. Elevate your journey. Connect with us on social media at blunttruthpodcast.com. Until next time, be kind, keep growing, and remember, knowledge is infinite.